Now, Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Love the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by Amco, a subsidiary of Ansa Macau.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2 Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today. Make sure you have yourself a great invest week by viewing The Bourse Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Bourse Report. CNC3, covering your world.
For Dr. Nicole Ramlachan. She will join us momentarily before we get into that very important discussion concerning that virus that many, obviously people are busy, but those who are looking at the news, you're seeing that development out of South Africa and the Hunter virus. I want to get all the details. I myself have some serious questions to ask, and Dr. Ramlachan will give us the answer. Before we get there, let's head across to our weather update. Sigoni is here to give us the latest because, as I mentioned, we are officially into the start of the rainy season. Sigoni, up next with all the details.
I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. Well, it is officially the start of the local wet season right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and that's according to the Met Service, which actually declared the start of the season yesterday because of a passing tropical wave that brought in some moisture and some meaningful rainfall to our area. So now that we're in the wet season, can we expect wet conditions today? Yes and no, because at the same time, while we are looking out for some pools of moisture producing a few showers throughout the day across the islands, we also have a significant concentration of Saharan dust haze present in the atmosphere right now. It's been building overnight and into the next couple of hours, taking us through the weekend. We will see that significant increase, and with it, if you are sensitive to the change in air quality, you have got to take the necessary precautions where your health is concerned. So have your relievers and your inhalers on hand when you're commuting and conducting your daily activities. But back to this wet season declaration. Can we see those showers? Well, we do have some quick passing early morning showers today. As the day progresses, though, that will give way to a lot of heat, a lot of sunshine, hazy conditions, and a gentle breeze every now and again, but not enough to keep you cool. Pay attention to our temperatures, because while our highs are approaching the lower 30s, our feels like index, or our heat index, is approaching the upper 30s. So you want to stay cool and stay hydrated at times. As the day progresses, quick passing showers are expected, especially into the mid-afternoon hours of the day, and with that, we could see some gusty or stronger wind action, especially near those heavier downpours. So pay attention when you're heading out there. If you're heading to the beaches now, well, seas are moderate. We've got winds coming out from an east to southeasterly direction, with waves approaching 2 meters in height in open waters, well below 1 meter in height in nearshore and sheltered areas. And the good news here is that we do not have any significant marine weather activity for the next 24-hour period, so it's smooth sailing if you do decide to venture offshore. With that said, hey, that's a wrap on your forecast. That's it from me.
So you heard it from Sigoni, and she's always on top of any and everything concerning the weather. Official start of the wet season. That's right. So I guess here's where we put the umbrella, either in the purse, in the car, have it there as a standby. Let's get ready. We get into that pause and we come back. Dr. Nicole Ramlachan, biotechnologist, to give us the latest concerning this hantavirus concern.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny. Just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house need painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny, fix it.
There has never been a better time for a TBLA home improvement loan. Call us today at 623-1501 or visit us at tblamortgages.com.
Shop this month end at Food Basket, Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. With a purchase of $500 and over, you get to choose a free case of Chubby, a bale of toilet paper, 2 cases of water, or 3 5-liter liquid detergent. Yes, you can get to choose an item for free with purchases of $500 and over. Don't miss it, happening this month at Food Basket Marketplace in Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a bit?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hey, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Need to upgrade to a better phone system? Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
Geneticist and biotechnologist, Dr. Nicole Ramlachan, joins me on the Zoom line, and I just knew it when I saw that development out of South Africa came up on the international feed, I said, oh my goodness, the best person to explain this would be your goodly self, Dr. Ramlachan. I'm so happy that you took the time to break it down, not only for me, but for the listening and viewing audience this morning. Welcome, as always. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me, as always. You know, when there's ever an outbreak, everybody always panics, and there's always a little spin of misinformation out there. So I'm always willing and able to come and clear things up.
Indeed. Firstly, what is the hantavirus? Never heard about it.
It's one of these, typical vector-borne diseases. In this case, we talk about the dengue and the Zika and all of those that are vector-borne, and we're used to talking about and discussing in the Caribbean. However, this one is vector-borne by rodents, right? So we get it basically from rodent droppings that exist in the environment, and they become aerosolized, and we inhale it. So it's a respiratory disease that has really non-specific symptoms. So medical doctors and so on will tell you what to look for in terms of symptomatic, responses to this particular virus. But what happens is when it enters the respiratory system, it goes through the usual infection pathways to the lung cells and the alveoli and so on, and creates a non-specific inflammatory reaction, we call it. So it would be fever, systemic fever, sometimes high, respiratory symptoms, those kinds of things. But eventually, in some individuals, if it isn't clear, it causes kidney failure. And that's what happened in these 3 people, I guess, that were sick in this ocean, I think it's Ocean 8, or can't remember the name of the cruise line. However, it is thought to be spread by rodents only, but there are some instances where it can be human-to-human spread as well too, and they are suspecting in this particular incident it was a human-to-human spread because they were living in the same area on the ship.
So let me ask, is it that the spread, because I guess this particular boat out of South Africa, that obviously the quarantine, they had it out there just,
correct.
The kind of quarantine, right? So is it one that if it gets to the land, could it spread? Is it human to human spread? After rodent to human, is it human to human? Like on that?
No, it's not known to be human to human. It's very, very rare for it to be human to human because you have to build enough of the particulates to be able to get infectious. And it usually doesn't happen because you're not breathing out, whole particulates of dust and so on, right? It's more a viral kind of, when you spread respiratory diseases, it becomes aerosolized, yes. But in this particular case, it's not known. I think there's only about 5 or 6 recorded cases. It's really, really rare. But the problem is that it can come on, symptoms can actually show up 1 to 8, anywhere between 1 to 8 weeks after exposure. So you really don't know if it's happening in a case where it's happening on the ship or if they brought it on, right? Because it's 1 to 8 weeks. So that's one of the issues. And the symptoms can last up to 10 days, 4 to 10 days. So that's one of the things, too, is that it's hard to say where it started and where it came from in this particular case. But, I mean, it's normal coughing, fever, respiratory kind of looking symptoms. But a lot of times when it goes into the shortness of breath and severe respiratory illness and you have to be hospitalized, it can convert to kidney disease, severe kidney disease, and individuals can actually die from it, which is really what is happening. They even have vomiting and diarrhea symptoms and so on. But, the preventions are usually the same. Clean. Make sure that if you're going into a dusty area, you're wearing your face mask. Make sure that there's not any rodents around. Set traps, call insect control if you can, or the ministry, or wherever you're living in whatever area to be able to make sure it's eliminated. But we've had hantavirus around for decades. It's not new.
So what about the leptospirosis?
Same thing.
So is it the same thing, but just with a different name? Because I know that...
No, same concept. I shouldn't say same thing.
Okay.
Same infection.
Because I was here about that, they say if like a rodent bite a fruit or urinate...
Rodent droppings, yeah.
Droppings on a fruit that, bam, now you eat it, correct. Problems, you could die. People have died, I've heard that.
And it happens too with pets, because you leave out your pet food and the rodents will come and eat in the pet food, and then you go, your pets will eat the pet food, or you will pick up the pet food and wash it in your normal sink and infect, pass the carrier, which is basically again a vector, right? To your food items and stuff, and that's sometimes you go and kiss up your dog and your cat or whatever right after they eat the food that has the leptospirosis in it. So that's kind of what happens. So it's basically cleanliness. It's basic cleanliness. Make sure that you're emptying your food bowls. Don't leave things lying around that rodents could get into at all. Try to be able to clean up your area and your living area and your living space, attic spaces. When it is you're going into your roof, the little space between everybody has it, sometimes between the ceiling and the roof and so on, and these little underhanging areas. Make sure that rodent droppings are cleared off. That's why it's so important to do that. And while you're doing it, make sure that you're masked.
Yeah, because a rodent, a rat, mouse, anyone, when they see these things, other than freaking out, causing a panic, it's indication that clearly, probably, there is some kind of, I don't know, you need to clear up the space and clean it up. It's something that you need to eliminate immediately.
Even dust, right? Because they could have been there a month ago, but they would have left their droppings in the dust, right? So, cleanliness is a big thing when it comes to eliminating disease and being able to clear, infection. So that's one of the reasons why, too, when you have older folk that live on their own, you have to make sure, at least every couple of weeks that you pass through and clean up the living space, clean up the outside area, make sure there's nothing that animals, holes and stuff in the walls and windows and stuff that these rodents could come in. Rodents are, they brought the bubonic plague, They are responsible for 50% of the European population dying right, from the plague and Black Death. It was all rodents. So it's not unusual. It's not the first time this thing is passing through. And it's a serious thing. We have to be really, really, we've had a few deaths from leptospirosis in the last couple of years as well, too. So this is not anything to poo-poo and say that it's nothing at all. We really have to be vigilant.
Let me ask you, should there be any concern at all about the spread of this? Because I know you said it was contained there to the boat, but just for those who, when they hear virus, they get a bit nervous based on that trauma of COVID. What's your advice in that regard? Should there be any concern, at least for...
Not any more than usual. I mean, again, as I said, the same vector-borne diseases. Mosquitoes are a big deal now. Dengue is back. Zika and chikungunya and all of these things are still around. Yellow fever, all spread by mosquitoes. So same kind of thing. Clean up your area. Get rid of all those containers of water. As you mentioned just before the segment started, we're into the rainy season now. So we have to be aware that this stuff has to, circulate every year after year after year. So mosquitoes are bad this year, I've noticed, quite severe in terms of how much they're around, and they're the same thing. Get rid of your water containing stagnant water around your house. Clean up, cut your bush. Same kind of thing, and it applies to both mosquitoes and rodents, right? In terms of keeping your area clean, and it's basic healthcare management. That's really what we have to go through since COVID, and that's one of the things we need to realize. These viruses are around; they're opportunistic, and they will take hold and spread from person to person in terms of infectious, if they can. Again, hantavirus, not so much. Again, this was probably the second or third known transmission, and again, it was probably because it was close environments and they were exposed to these same particles. They're assuming that happened, so they're not able to determine whether or not it was like everybody's breathing in and exposed to the same time, or somebody brought it on board and because they were all sleeping in the same room, spread it. So again, nothing is ruled out at this point. It just means that you have to take precautions and take more care.
Well said. Well, Dr. Ramlachan, I want to thank you for the clarity. All the best, and we will touch base soon.
Thanks. No problem. Bye-bye. Take care.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Ramlachan giving us some details concerning the hantavirus. All right. We want to transition now to a conversation that we started yesterday, and we want to continue with today. We are dealing with crime. We're dealing with youth. We are dealing with community safety, and more so prevention and solutions. Dr. David Mohammed, criminologist and sociologist, joins me next.
Your future is safe with us. No matter your age or where you're from, or what doors are open to each and every everyone, your financial needs are sure to be met. At Police Credit Union, there's zero regrets. A variety of services that's accessible and reliable. Here to show you just what service is. Helping where we can, but with a smile. So grow with us today. We can do this together. We can secure the future. We can secure the future.
Police Credit Union. Your future is safe with us.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley. Loving the flavors you get with Tetley.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley. A tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Answer McCall.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Dr. David Mohammed joins me on the Zoom line. Criminologist and sociologist we are treating this morning with crime and community safety. We've seen recently, in the midst of all this state of emergency, that's a reality. We are in a state of emergency, and yet still the crime and the severity of some of the news coming in, it leaves many with more questions and answers. And I want to treat with the core and the source, and where can we start to bring some of our youth back into the fold to help them make that 180. Because I believe, once there is that particular chance to engage and to give them opportunity, to give them that sense of hope, which seems to be lacking so much in the space, we could bring many back into the fold. But let me ask you, are you concerned, Dr. Mohammed? And of course, first things first, good morning and great to see you, as always. Manners first.
Thank you, and likewise.
Are you concerned with the severity and what we're seeing? I mean, amidst all this state of emergency and some of the major plans and the rollout of crime prevention strategy, we're still seeing the dark, very dark side. I mean, up to now, we're hearing of a beheading somewhere down in Caracas. A man was chopped to death mere days ago. Criminals shooting down to children now. I mean, where are we heading with this?
Well, first of all, crime is and has always been a major concern within our society. And even though statistically numbers may be down, in reality, the fear, terror, and trauma that members of the public experience can still be going up based on the type of crimes that are committed. Crime has largely been normalized in our society, but when abnormal types of behaviors become part of the criminal actions that are committed, it is as if it is a brand new experience for us all over again. A lot of this also goes in cycles because we have seen in the past beheadings. We have seen in the past, of course, the shooting, the killing of children. We tend to have sometimes these kinds of collective short-term national memories that when these kinds of situations reoccur, we tend not to recall how we would have coped or handled it the last time around, and we end up being at our wits' end once again. And this is really a state of confusion. And when we face these kinds of really abstract and peculiar behaviors, it causes people to think of solutions based on their emotions. And people tend sometimes to respond with their pain more than their sense of reason. So we are in a situation where the society requires us to demonstrate a certain kind of social solidarity and work with a measure of togetherness and cooperation instead of rivalry. Because I don't think anyone in this society could disagree with the fact that when crimes are committed, politically, it becomes a competition to highlight, discuss, and expose which side was worse, which side did less to solve the problem, which side contributed more to the downward spiral. And we as a society, I believe, are urgently in need of having to mature out of that kind of competitive antagonism against both sides of this political defense that are highlighted every time crimes like this occur.
Well, let me ask you, Dr. Mohammed, outside of the political divide, when we consider the justice system and the wheels that turn ever so slowly, do you think that's a major reason why people sometimes will hire a gunman, hire a shooter to treat with a matter, deal with it from that standpoint of street justice as opposed to going through the formal channels? Because one, it's a bit long, and there is this concept that you will not really get justice for your loss and your pain and your hurt.
Well, that would be part of the reason, but another reality of this particular issue that you're raising about hiring a gunman, one of the reasons that many people hire these shooters or gunmen is because, my apologies for that. Are you still seeing me?
Crisp and clean. Crisp and clean. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the reasons that so many people would hire gunmen in our society is because they know that they will not get caught. They know that the attention will be on the shooter. We live in a society where there is a very clear and distinct social class stratification in how the justice system deals with persons who come before the courts. And if someone who is wealthy and of means can hire someone who is poor, of the working class or underclass, then it's highly unlikely that the spotlight will be placed on the person who hired a criminal more so than the person who pulled the trigger. There have been multiple examples and cases of this in our society, and that within itself is almost like an advertisement brochure for people who have grudges against others who can hire all criminals from the street to get away with the crimes that the poor person would not get away with, but that the criminal justice system may have a tendency or a bias to overlook. And I think that is a major part of our current crime situation, again, because we have seen historically so many cases of this kind of thing. Wealthy, elitist businessman hires poor, struggling gang leader. You actually have people in the prison right now. In fact, some of the longest cases of remand in the prison are persons who have found themselves in those kinds of situations. And in addition to that, the broken prison system within itself contributes to recidivism, where once you go into the prison, which is an experience of injustice many times, seeing you have more people on remand than those who have been convicted and condemned. And even if you are innocent, and there's overwhelming evidence to suggest that, if you don't have money to put forth that argument or that case, you have to languish in prison, possibly under circumstances that can cause criminal thinking and contemplation to be conjured up in the mind of the person who becomes desperate for some kind of retribution, So he was not a criminal when he went into the system, but he's thinking like a criminal now that he's on his way out of the system, which increases the likelihood of him coming back into the system. And that contributes towards the revolving door that we see as well.
And you know, when we consider the system, because I'm thinking, you know, I'm just trying to think of different plans or at least strategies I've seen. And I've seen where in the US they use this scared straight tactic where they bring young people who are on the fringes, they put them into the system, let them see firsthand how brutal the prison space is. But then I'm hearing now from friends on the ground that many who go into the system, even if we were to try that here, people go in there and seeing friends and family. It's almost like it's a familiar space, even though it's not, you're not familiar with the space, but you're familiar with the faces. That's what I meant to say. What can we do to ensure that our young people who are on the fringes, who are dancing that very thin line, do not really have to go through what you just mentioned, having to languish there for years, having to, the mother had to have barbecue and all kind of stuff to raise funds to pay a legal team to get them out. How do we prevent our young, vulnerable men from going down that road? Let's deal with the solution.
Yes. So crime in our society has its roots in so many different areas of social concern. But a major part of it currently, from my view, is rooted in deprivation. You also have the development of these deviant subcultures, and then we have marginalized groups in society that lack clear goals and organizations to represent their interests. And then you have a culture within the society where young people would mimic and learn behaviors that they would have seen through various media platforms, and then are driven towards, through social learning, the learning of criminal techniques, and actually find themselves with their backs against the wall with the consideration of applying some of these criminal methods and strategies to make a living or to earn a means to an end. It's called a deviance amplification spiral that even in the way that the crimes are reported in many ways on many platforms, it literally provides an option. Now, I want to say something to you, Jason. I have been asked, as you would imagine, about a statement made by Minister of National Security regarding black boys or too many black youth committing crimes. And this has been my concern for the last 3 decades or so. But my intervention would involve participating in an organization and creating platforms through youth academies, in particular our Boys Academy at the Kwame Ture Center, where we would take every opportunity that we can to teach and train youth from age 5 to 17 years old in life skills, motivation, inspiration, free lessons and classes, show examples, have a big brother mentorship program, and be in contact and networking within their communities and to their families. To me, that is the most effective strategy from the point of view of it taking an entire village to raise a child. However, in being asked about my view on the statements, to me, to ask this question, because I was literally asked the question, why are so many black boys involved in crime? And my response to that was that that question within itself is what you refer to as a leading question, which is misguided, and asking that question is similar to asking other questions that our society would never ask, such as, we won't ask in any kind of public forum, why is it that some races have so many cloth stores and sell so much drugs and import so much cocaine? Or we won't ask, how come certain other races drink so much alcohol and beat their wives? We wouldn't ask those kinds of questions under any circumstances and name the races, but we feel comfortable asking, well, how come so many black boys commit crime? And when we ask questions like that, we completely ignore and obscure the successful accomplishments and achievements of hundreds of thousands of black boys in our society and across the Caribbean region who have done massive great things in their young lives, even before the age of 18. We have young scholars, mathematicians. We have those who have gotten university degrees as teenagers, master's and bachelor's degrees, PhDs. We have young inventors, young writers, young scholars, young athletes, footballers, musicians, poets, writers. These are in the hundreds of thousands of black youth. The criminals, in comparison, are in the tens and 20s, maybe a few hundreds.
Indeed, but the thing is, Dr. Mohammed...
But we are programmed to look at the minority that has deviated and strayed away from the straight path as the norm, and they are used as the image of representation of who we are. But no other ethnic group sees themselves like that. And there are others who are controlling the narrative about how we see ourselves. And that within itself adds psychological poison to this already toxic environment where young people, through this labeling theory, begin to see themselves potentially as deviant. So they're labeled by the system. After being labeled by the system, they live out a self-fulfilling prophecy. After living out the self-fulfilling prophecy, they begin to form themselves into groups, sets, subcultures. Then they develop an anti-education or anti-intellectual attitude towards school. And then we see the school to prison pipeline. And then they drop out of the school and then into the gangs. And then this negativity once again is amplified. But we tend to contribute to these societal problems in the way that we irresponsibly handle the conversation. And I am of the view that we have to be a lot more sensitive to how those kinds of cues and prompts are triggered off to young people who are constantly being told on a day-to-day basis that the best option for you and the most likely option for you and the highest statistical probability for your future is to be a criminal.
You see, what you're saying there, it is spot on, but you see, the subculture that exists, the imagery, the social media, the music, the videos, the romanticizing, as it were, of a criminal lifestyle and the dress code and the image. This is what's perpetuated in a lot of ways. And what we see is indeed lots of the young black and I would say, I don't even want to say black because we are all black ultimately, the young African youth, especially from some of the so-called depressed areas, going into that particular vein and looking the part and walking the part and talking the part. And, you know, that's the reality of the day. And I wonder how we could get them out of that. I mean, I don't even think they're privy to the conversations and privy to what's happening in the news cycle. I think they just find themselves in a subculture that they feel this is the way and this is how they have to conduct themselves.
Well, I believe they are privy to the conversations, and the media platforms that I'm referring to in this context are not necessarily social media platforms. It goes back to this conversation that comes out nationally, even in the mainstream media, about black boys being involved in crime. It is a fact that the impact of white-collar crime committed by non-African people in the middle class and above still has a by far more devastating impact on our national economy than all of the street crimes committed by poor black boys in our country.
I will agree there because I've always mentioned the pen. I've always mentioned the pen is more powerful sometimes than the gun, because the pen is able to shift numbers, big numbers too.
But here's the difference. The difference is that the black boy, whether he is a criminal or not, may be stereotyped as one. not by social media, by mainstream media. But the white-collar corporate executive occupational or professional criminal, even if he is heavily involved in crime, he will under no circumstances be labeled, portrayed, or stereotyped as one. And that kind of imbalance lives within mainstream media.
Yeah, and I can't disagree in that regard. That's a snapshot of the moment and of the day. We have to stick up in there for now. I'll give you. We have literally a couple of seconds. I'll give you the closing remarks.
So
a couple of seconds.
There's one last thing I want to raise.
We have about a minute. Really fast.
Okay. All right. Now, I want us to think on this one deeply. And don't worry, I'm responsible in what I say. But there has been a senator recently who's a minister in government who has been making some very disgusting and despicable remarks. Well, a lot of them do that. But this one in particular, who has found himself in a paternity issue, he has been all over social media with the disgusting, despicable things that he's been saying. And from my vantage point, there is something else that he said that we have all missed, but everyone's paying attention to his obscenities and profanity. Now, is he an embarrassment to the country? Yes. Do I feel ashamed when people from other countries show videos of him and say, is this person a senator in your country? Yes, it's an embarrassment, it's a disgrace. But this same individual said, and I've been saying it for years, on social media live, he openly, in trying to make a point, said, I have a Syrian friend who is trafficking cocaine. And I asked him about it. Now, everyone missed that. But the bacchanal, the excitement, the whole issue of being able to sensationalize and scandalize something, that is what the whole country is consuming and paying attention to.
Well, thanks for, again, bringing that to our attention. By all means, we still depend for now.
Who else is going to talk about it?
It's true.
Who else is going to talk about it, though?
Dr. Mohammed, as always, sincere thanks. We have to run to the 7 a.m. news update, but we'll touch base soon, man. All the best.
I appreciate it, Jason. Blessings to you. Thank you very much.
That's right. Dr. David Mohammed there, touching base. We get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. Your calls after 7.
Looking for a smart way to grow your savings? For just a limited time, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union is offering competitive fixed deposit rates of up to 4%. That's up to 4% guaranteed. When you invest with PCU Fixed Deposit, visit any of our locations in Barataria, Arima, San Fernando, or Tobago to get started today. For more details, visit policecreditunion.com or call us at 6124-PCU. PCU, your future is safe with us. Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Beach with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Former PNM Vice Chairman Robert LeHunt is pushing back against claims that the controversy surrounding Senators Janelle John Bates and Faris Al-Arawi has weakened the party. Government ministers Saddam Hussein, Jailene John and Barry Padaurath have accused opposition leader Penelope Beckles of showing weakness for failing to accept John Bates' resignation and of cowardice for not firing Al-Arawi. John Bates and Al-Arawi were found to have edited a witness statement by former Health Minister Terence Dialsing, which was later submitted to a parliamentary committee. Their involvement was detected after track changes remained enabled on the document. Amid growing questions over ethics and the opposition leader's silence, LeHunt argues the PNM is being held to a higher standard than its rivals.
It is clear that the country holds the PNM to a different standard than they hold anyone else. I agree this is an important issue, but it is up to the government to use this as a diversion tactic as best as they can so that people will not focus on the other issues and for them to keep it as live as long as they can.
Public Utilities Minister Barry Padaurath says a nationwide audit of power infrastructure is coming as government moves to strengthen the country's electricity system. At the installation of lights ceremony at Ramdani Singh Recreation Ground in Penal yesterday, the minister said he has asked TNTech to do an audit assessment of all substations and facilities. He noted Monday's power disruptions in parts of Port of Spain and Central was because of a faulty keypad on one of TGU's facilities relating to the power grid. The minister confirmed that 13 areas were impacted, resulting in low voltage and in some areas outages, which lasted up to 35 minutes in some instances.
However, I have spoken with the board of TGU, and now we're going to get a board of PowerGen very shortly, the RIC, as well as TNTech, for there to be a review of all existing TNTech infrastructure. Whether it was because of the lack of resources financially to look after it, that was no excuse for passing the buck and allowing it to deteriorate even further.
Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is imploring residents of Speyside and Delaford to conserve water amid a harsh dry season. Water shortages have been severely affecting communities across Tobago East, leaving residents and businesses frustrated. In a Facebook post yesterday, Augustine acknowledged the crisis, saying water is life and right now it is under pressure. In Parlatuville, Lance Formey, Speyside, representative also shared a photo of Kings Bay Dam showing water levels extremely low and filled with debris. Augustine said the dam built above Kings Bay Estate has served the community well, but a major challenge is its lack of access road. Augustine said the Tobago House of Assembly is working to address the problem, with drainage infrastructure already under construction along the access route. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for a comprehensive coverage in our midday news and our major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world: diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and take the first step toward better health.
Welcome back. Let's head to the phone lines. It's hour number 2 on this Wednesday, the 6th day of May 2026. A chance for you to check in. So Dr. David Mohammed had a good bit to say, and actually I just got a message there from one of my good contacts, and they would have said here, let me read out what she says. She says here, Which is a lot, huh? But she would have said, I agree with Dr. Mohammed. She says crime deeper like a spider web than what is kept up front to the public. Holistic mentorship is the key. She mentioned, we have started a conversation and she wants us to continue, in that particular regard. Let's hear from Shagonas. Back on the line, first caller yet again. Morning, Shagonas.
Good morning, Brother Jill.
Hey, this Enterprise, man.
Yeah, all years, Trinidad and all over. Listening to Dr. Mohammed, and he's a very, very inspiring person.
You to do Enterprise, do me a favor now. Do me a favor. You see the TV, just take the volume down and put it on mute. I'm getting a little feedback there. I want to make sure I hear you nice and clear and no disturbance at all. So just bounce it low and let's go again. I listen to the Enterprise. Go ahead.
Am I proper?
Yeah, man. Better now. Go ahead.
Dr. Mohammed, I want to compliment you because you have been one of the persons that has transformed. I still never I was no criminal to the extent, but I the goodness of my mind. And I remember when I was in the prison, Dr. Mohammed used to have a program at least twice a week and a weekend. And I had my phone up, Jay, listening to Dr. Mohammed speaking and influencing people and showing them all the ways, especially like black people who are so, castigated and different things, you understand? And also a person I want to mention is former judge, former president, Paula May Weeks. When she sentenced me a couple years ago, and you know what she said? She told me that I was one of the most intelligent accused that appeared before her. And I will make it a pity. A man with intelligence, your eloquence, the gift that you have, will use that to go astray the law. And tell me that more than 25 years ago, and I still remember. Just we need to have people like this on this program. I want Paula Weeks to get involved. These are the people who could get influence because it have people there, they want to come and talk every morning and say this and that like they living in heaven and that wing on their back. And these are the people who really have holding grudges against people. I know the values I have. I leave the prison as the president of the inmate sports committee. If you understand what I'm saying, I know I have something to offer. I went to UTT and lecture, and when I finished lecture, children crying, students crying, who waiting outside to hug them up, and different things. And I know the value of that, but there are people that try to fight me down. I leave the program because I favoritism and different. Right? If I want one of these, I want to come and share with what I have because it have people who just. Yes.
What I want to do, I want you to give the team your number. Let me talk to you off air so that we could probably make a little space for you to literally come and share a story.
Thank you very much.
We need more time. Let's take Enterprise number from now. Amisha, you can, yeah. Just let's. So you'll talk to our colleague there, Amisha. She'll take your number.
Have a blessed day to the citizens of this country. You have blessing, guidance, and protection to you and your loved ones.
Thank you, my brother.
Peace, love, and goodness.
Peace, love, and goodness, man. I'd really love to put a face to Enterprise because from his story, and he's a regular caller, he would have spent some time inside the system, and clearly he is one of the examples really of that restoration that we talk about. The fact that he went in, he was able to make amends, come to terms with what he would have done, and now he's outside trying to make a difference to prevent people from going through what he had to endure. Let's head to Freeport. Enterprise, thanks again, man. We'll touch base. Freeport, good morning.
Good morning, Jason Williams. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
I love that caller. You should interview him. And I have to say something about what I think that is noteworthy about him. Even though the negative was there, he chose a positive. In anything in life, a positive stream of thoughts will carry you much further than a negative stream of thoughts. Yes, in life we all have obstacles. We all have things to deal with, ups and downs. It's how you process it mentally creates a difference. And that call is a fitting example. You choose better life. Again, it's choice. It's always a choice. So if you choose something better, always go for the positive, because a negative will always see you down a pitch and a dark down hole. But a positive stream of thought will carry you much further, and that is the rightest course or the wisest course of action. Thank you. I'm Jason.
You're most welcome, man. Sheldon Lynn there, avid supporter of the program. Always want to bring a good commentary, a solid commentary to uplift. Let's head to Tabakit. Good morning, Tabakit.
A pleasant morning to you, Mr. Williams.
Morning.
Now, let me give my 2 cents on the interview with Dr. Mohammed. Now, what jumped out in front of me, I'll tell you. You see that keyword, stress? That interfere with the human body, mind in different ways. And I'll tell you why. Let's use yourself as an example. The boss or a worker giving you stress. The next morning you come on the job, you will not be able to function. And here's where I'm going with it. What we need to implement in national security, where everybody who is coming in the police service, army, psychology should be a subject. I'll tell you what. They will now be able to have that IQ to see those who coming with that stress area, even the schools. Now, people may say, Tabakit, why go there? That is the key thing, and I'll tell you, it is not been discussed. These young men that coming from the so-called hoods, ghetto, broken home, that keyword stress, it interferes with the body, soul, mind, and spirit. And to me, if we need to get to these young men, why they got there, what was the stress factor from the broken home, family home, the community, you're not getting work. And stress leads you to do things that you normally will not do. I am saying, to me, I would look at that key area, and one of the areas we should be really trying to focus on. You see that ministry with Vandana Mohit? To me, that is a critical ministry to start to work in these communities. That's my perspective. Tabakit out and out.
Thank you, Tabakit. Yeah, stress is real. I think also what we discover, and you hear it a lot from prison officers. Speaking to inmates, you recognize so many of the young men inside there never really got a simple thing as a hug. No love. They didn't get that kind of warmth that many was able to enjoy. And I guess because of that, probably a bitterness, a certain resentment, a certain stress. You hear it all the time. So these things are so important in terms of the upbringing and the development of the child. A simple thing as a hug. That real hardback man out here, father was in the house, father never hugged them. And because of that, there's a certain bitterness. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Let's head to Grandy on this Wednesday morning. Good morning, Grandy.
Yes, so a pleasant good morning to you, JW.
Welcome, my brother. I'm listening, man. Go right ahead.
Yes. Now, Mr. Mohammed was on point with some very good suggestions and so on there. But, JW, I called to tell you that why everything is going up while this government in opposition said they will carry it down. Now, the goodly lady, while in opposition, she said a national commission on the banking and financial sector to address high bank fees and interest rate spreads if the United National Congress wins the upcoming election. JW, they won. But here the latest. Republic Bank fees increase The bank has stated in their fee schedule and noted by TrinidadExpress.com, introduce higher fees for checks, drafts, and in-branch transactions effective May 1st, 2026.
Yeah.
Everything is going up, JW.
Yeah.
While this government, this nice, goodly lady who loves us, said she will lower everything, and everything is going up.
I think what happens is sometimes, Grandy, and I'm not defending the government's decision, but I feel it's one thing when in opposition and stuff, but when they get behind the wheel and they recognize the gas low, based on the economy, where we're going, some of the external factors, this war in Iran and all that. So I feel like water more than flour, and it come like they realize, boy, what was the low-hanging fruit? What we could pull and suck from, and I think that's what's going on. So I feel that it's like you talk a big talk when in opposition, but when you're in government, it's a whole different ball game, because the reality hits you that, hey, you got to get over the line. Not defending what they did, but I just feel honestly that's why they always talk out the two sides of the mouth.
But it was misleading. It was misleading. Of course. That was my point.
Yeah, it is. Because you say one thing, and you do the next.
Yes. So I don't know if I have time to give you another one.
Do we have time for another one? Let me ask the team. Oh, you have to do it. They say, hold up in. Hit me tomorrow.
Take up in?
Yeah.
Take up in? All right. I'll come back again.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
All right, Grandy, take it easy. I feel that's what's happening in the politics, man. And I mean, this happens on both sides of the political divide and all parts of the world. Look at Donald Trump said he's going to not engage in never-ending wars and stuff. And what you do when you get in is war. Or as he says, a military engagement. Let me take my time with the language. So that's the nature of the game. It's the ability to speak both sides of your mouth, saying, I don't even know at this point in time. I need to really sit down and analyze how they treat with it, because it is mind-boggling. You don't even try to wrap your mind around that. You'll end up in what Tabeki talk about there, stress. Let's take the pause and we head to Tobago. Tobago Talks up next, and we're treating with the president of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Curtis Williams. President Williams joins me for another important Tobago Talks conversation.
Your future is safe with us. No matter your age or where you're from, or what doors are open to each and every one. Your financial needs are sure to be met. At Police Credit Union, there's zero regrets. A variety of services that's accessible and reliable. Here to show you just what service is. Helping where we can, but with a smile. So grow with us today. We can do this together. We can secure the future. We can secure the future.
Police Credit Union. Your future is safe with us.
Did you know a business degree leads to diverse career opportunities and advancement? Start an internationally recognized business degree from the world-ranked University of Hertfordshire at CTS College. Classes are 1 day per week, with mostly assignment-based assessments. Plus, with 3 intakes per year and flexible payment options, getting started is easy. Holders of an associate degree, advanced diploma or ABE Level 5 diploma can complete this program in only 12 months. Call CTS College today and find out how you can get $6,000 off.
Curtis Williams joins me on the Zoom line for Tobago Talks. And when Tobago Talk, we listen. Tobago, of course, well, Curtis, President Williams, the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Always great to see you, Curtis. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi. Morning, Jason. Morning to your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure being on air this morning.
I know today we're dealing with the impact of crime on business and the business interest there in Tobago, but I wanted to start with a development as it pertains to the Tobago brand and what could be considered a missed opportunity. iShowSpeed did his Caribbean tour, biggest streamer in the world, millions of eyeballs looking at his presentation. He came to Trinidad and he didn't touch Tobago, and I found it a bit strange because he went to Antigua over the weekend and he went across to Barbuda. Barbuda's population is very small, as it were. So I was wondering, how come there wasn't that consideration to bring more eyeballs to Tobago? Because I'm sure, it would have been able to at least bring attention to many who might not even know of Tobago and Tobago's tourism potential. What's your thought of that development?
Well, Jason, I just was like you. I was concerned, and I thought he would have come across to Tobago. I was all waiting and said, wow, this excitement coming from Speed and the amount of, as an influencer, the amount of attraction he have. I expected him to be here, but fortunately, I think the Division of Tourism, I think they didn't get enough time to get him across. But nevertheless, I think these influencers do a lot for an island. In a short time, he able to expose Trinidad and the culinary arts and the doubles. And I mean, it was just exciting watching him going up the islands and all these different places. Mm-hmm. But he really liked Trinidad and Tobago. I can see that. He really loved Trinidad and Tobago. And I really expected Tobago to be part of it. So we hope that in the next rounds we don't get left out of these influencers, these good guys that come and really promote your island kind of nearly free.
Yeah, indeed. Really well, I know the tourism product is a major, major injection in that Tobago economy. That's really how, many get over the line every month. But let me ask, I'm seeing where there's some water issues heading up to the Speyside area, so much so one of the hoteliers, they had to pay for water. What's going on as it pertains to the tourism product? We're talking here the length and breadth of Tobago. Are we ready for the busy July-August season? That's when the influx, of course, of the Trinidadians, obviously, and others, people from far afield will come in. Are you all, based on conversations with the authorities, the House, is everything in place for the July-August season?
Well, Jason, I can assure you that WASA and the agencies and them, especially Tobago House of Assembly, in which WASA falls under some of them, one of the divisions, but even WASA himself, they have been across in Tobago understanding that the dry season is upon us, and it is important that we have water supplies to the various hotels, especially in the southwestern area where I am right now. Jason, we had over the couple of weeks, we have a lot of complaints that water shortage across here. And just as you indicated, now it's a little slow, which is maybe in May, June, normally a little slow. And coming up to summertime, we will definitely need to get that water supply in place. That's short term. We're looking at medium to long term. We know about the new Marriott that's going to be here, and the excitement is brewing across the island. Everyone is excited. Everyone is talking about it. The opportunities is there for everyone, and we are thinking about all the infrastructure. And this was a conversation we had with TNTech and WASA. We did invite TNTech and WASA to the chamber office, and we spoke at length about all the development on the island. And hoping that TNTech and WASA understands what's happening and do the necessary infrastructure to serve those development that are coming. You can imagine Marriott coming and there's no water at the hotel. So that these things could really send us going a tailspin. Presently, there need to be some sort of reaction to what's going to be happening. And we know for sure, I can tell you, Summer going to be really, really good for Tobago. The excitement is buzzing on the island. But just that airport that we're hoping to be reopened soon, and then the Marriott coming in, the soil turning might be soon. That kind of excitement is building up on the island, and people are gearing and ready. And all we ask is that the authorities understand the kind of trust that will be coming to Tobago, and to put the necessary infrastructure in place to handle the trust. Not only water, we're talking about TNTech, we're talking about the infrastructure, the roads infrastructure, we're talking about the medical infrastructure in case tourists get injured, how they can treat with it. So we're talking about a holistic thing that have to be looked at, and we're asking the planners to sit down with the chamber, sit down with the other committees, the other stakeholders in the space, and we could come up with some of the solutions, we could come up with some of the ideas, because the development is moving, and it's moving at a rapid pace.
Let me ask President Williams, as we pivot now to business and the impact of crime and stuff in Tobago, is it that this big contract for Marriott and any other major contract, do they utilize the sufficient local talent in Tobago to be part of these projects? Because I know in Trinidad, when there's a major project happening in an area, if they don't use the talent from the said community, there is a wave of intimidation, as it were. And that's where the criminal elements and some of the people from the underworld, they get involved and they try to strong arm, as it were, some of these contractors and the process. And in some cases, work is halted because there is not that mix and balance. Is that the same experience in Tobago? Because I want to find out how deep this criminal problem is. I know we would have seen another murder in the space, but it's more than that particular occurrence. Sometimes these things are so deep-rooted that we try to figure out, how the tentacles are able to spread so far and wide. What happens when a contract of that level comes to Tobago?
Jason, I'm happy you brought up that question. We don't have that kind of a situation in Tobago. The relationship between us and the developer, Superior Hotels, is very, very cordial. I mean, the contractor reach out to us, I should say, the developer reach out to us already. And we have conversation on how we can use local content within the space. And we even up to last night, we met with the Secretary for Finance, we met with the Contractors Association. And Jason, you won't believe the buzz, the excitement that we put into this space. And so we don't have that issue of criminal elements and so forth. We don't have that in Tobago, and we hope it never comes. We work alongside all developers that come in to develop this space. And the relationship between the Tobago division, the chamber, and these developers is so cordial that it's amazing to see that they really make us part of their conversation in the development space. And we are happy about it. And we say thanks to Superior Hotels and the team for making the chamber as part of the conversation in hiring and seeking contracts, etc. in Tobago.
We're really happy to know. And that's why we have these frank and honest conversations to really get a deeper understanding. I saw recently there was a development with a murder there in Tobago. I know the man would have also been involved in a violent act a couple of weeks prior to his most unfortunate demise. What's the conversation like as it pertains to business and that sense of confidence when it comes to just the general operations within the space? Because Tobago is so small, 60,000. So when there's a murder, I know it's a national conversation as opposed to we getting this so many times here. It's almost like we numb. I know it's a bit different there in Tobago. What's the conversation with business interests based on that killing and just some of the reports of crime and criminality in Tobago?
Well, Jason, I was just minutes away from that murder scene in Scarborough, downtown Scarborough, and it was a busy area. The area in which the gentleman was is not a well-lit area. It's a bit dark spot behind a supermarket and in a car park. So we were urging the relevant authorities to take note of these different spots around the Scarborough. There's lots of spots around Scarborough that we have a lot of folks who just hang out on weekends or even and at nights. So we asking the authorities, Senior Superintendent Kirk and his team, and they have been doing a good job so far. I mean, my hotelers and all that members within the chamber have been applaud the police and for doing a tremendous good job so far in Tobago. Then we have this one-off, and we ask them, don't get complacent. look at it and ensure that Scarborough stays safe as much as possible. And so we ask them to intensify their patrols, meaningful patrols, stop, question folks, just don't drive by. So don't drive by with the flashing lights, stop, come out and integrate people, talk to them, have conversations with them. And that's what we want in Tobago. Go to the spaces where the tourists normally visits, and you stop and you come out and question folks, have conversation with them. And I think that's important.
Let me ask you, be frank, since when Scarborough gets so grimy and so hardcore? Last time I was in Scarborough a couple of months ago, characters all over the place. That's not the Scarborough I remember as a youth man going to Tobago on the Panorama, which I called the MV Tetanus back in the day, in the 80s. I remember Scarborough being this place, you have things selling and you have Tanti there and, your fruits. I just find Scarborough, it kind of look like Port of Spain.
Well, Jason, what we have, we're having some development, what we call them blocks, some blocks developing. And that's why I asked the law enforcement, the TTPS to take note of these blocks that just suddenly develop and really work on them, because the guys, the criminal elements will find the place to do what they have to do. But hence the reason why we ask the police to be on top of the game. Once you visit these areas and get rid of these so-called blocks, because you will see them manifesting itself in the evening and late at night. So you need to be on top of the game. If I'm just a normal citizen, understanding that they have all these little blocks developing in and around Scarborough, I think the police should be on top of the game. And the station is not too far from Scarborough. The station, you could actually walk from Scarborough, from the station into downtown. So I'm asking whether it's the foot patrols, whether it's the mobile patrols, just put the patrols in the right place at the right time. And I think that would help a lot, Jason. So we get back Scarborough to where we were before. Just as you mentioned, we'll have all the people coming out to sell the food and stuff like that. You will have the doubles, you'll have the gyros, you will have the jerks, trust me, you'll have everything that happens in Scarborough. And I think that's what we want to get Scarborough back to.
Yeah, man. Well, as always, thanks for the feedback. Keep us posted, and I'm sure we will touch base soon, President Williams. All the best as always.
Take care, Jason, and thanks for the opportunity.
That's right. Yeah, man. Tobago Talks. When Tobago Talk, we listen this and every Wednesday. Up next, TTIVF. Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain getting everyone ready for Conceiving Hope. Literally, I would say days away. Not this weekend, the following weekend, we head to the Southland. Dr. Minto-Bain up next.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny, just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house needs painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny, fix it.
There has never been a better time for a TBLA home improvement loan. Call us today at 623-1501 or visit us at tblamortgages.com.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Unfortunately, it looks as though you're having a heart attack. There is a 95% blockage within the left anterior descending artery.
Time is muscle, so the longer that your heart goes without the oxygen to that part of the organ, the more damage it does.
Prematurely stopping those medications puts you at a very high risk, so we always counsel patients to never ignore chest pain.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain joins me live on set. Yes, we are, I would say, one weekend away this weekend, and then the following weekend is when everyone heads to SAPA. We'll get into some details concerning that IVF event, Conceiving Hope, in a few, but let's, as always, continue with the IVF conversation just to advance the knowledge, because again, I have learned a lot during this particular segment, and I know the same pertains to our audience looking on. Good morning, Doc. Great to see you. Welcome.
JW, always love being here.
Of course, I want to start things off by asking, in terms of how does someone know that they actually need IVF? At what point does one engage in that conversation? Does it start with your partner at first and then you take it to the professionals? Just walk me through the process, what you have seen in your years of experience and practice.
A big problem in TNT is people don't know when they need IVF, and they leave it far too long to come to the IVF clinic. Well, we're a fertility clinic, we do everything. And IVF, I thought as a medical student, IVF is what you leave to the end of your fertility journey when other things haven't worked. But actually, it's not the case at all. There are certain cases where you would go straight to IVF. And I think people don't know enough about that, which is why we have our annual event, Conceiving Hope, 10 days away. So yes, it's coming up, not this Saturday, next Saturday in SAPA, San Fernando, May 16th, 9 a.m. till 2:30. This is the IVF event. And while I'm talking about it, let me just say it's free, but you need to register. So you come to our website, trinidadivf.com, to register. And one of the things we're going to be talking about is IVF. It's the most successful way to get a baby. Not everybody needs it, but a lot of people do. And how do people know? That's one of the things we're going to be giving people.
In terms of the men, I'm hearing that the sperm test is a very vital diagnostic. Could you elaborate some more?
Yeah, so sperm testing is one thing that really helps you know whether a guy needs IVF rather than some other treatments. But actually there are other things that a guy might know. So what would a sperm test tell you? So guys, this graphic is really good. There are kind of 7 pointers. If you do a sperm test and your numbers are below 5 million, you're not going to get pregnant with medical treatments or IUIs, you need IVF. Same if the swimming isn't good on the sperm. Same if the shapes of the sperm are below 2% normal forms. But then there are other guys as well. If you were born with testes that weren't descended in the scrotum but were in your abdomen, higher risk of problems, more likely to need IVF. If you've had cancer, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, you've got damage to sperm production often after that, and IVF is something you consider straight away. And then we're seeing a lot these days, guys who've used androgens, testosterone in the gym for a kind of a bodybuilding, muscle building. And if your sperm count doesn't recover after you use testosterone, because testosterone drops your sperm count, if it's been 6 to 12 months, your sperm count's still low, then the damage was pretty permanent from the testosterone, and you're going to need IVF as well.
Poor nutrition and let's say substance abuse, could that also impact sperm?
Absolutely. Everything lifestyle-wise, smoking, vaping, poor diet, substance abuse, everything that's harming your body is harming these delicate sperm-making cells, yes. Yeah.
As it pertains to the ladies, at what point should they consider, if there infertility issue, is it something that they should engage in immediately if they've discovered that? Walk me through the ladies' journey in this IVF experience.
So from a woman's point of view, you're going to be seeing a fertility doctor if you've not got pregnant within 12 months, if you're under 35, 6 months if you're. As a woman, if both of your tubes are blocked or very damaged, IVF bypasses the tubes. So that's a sort of a slam dunk one. But women with severe endometriosis, they go to IVF very quickly because they have egg problems. If you've had lots of pelvic infections, you can have pelvic scarring, and your tubes might be open on a test but not working. Same if you've had fibroid surgery or extensive fibroid surgery, you can have pelvic scarring afterwards. That means you can have open tubes that aren't working. Ladies, your doctor may have said when they did a surgery on you that they think you need IVF. That's because they saw damaged tubes or scarring, then you should do IVF. And if you've tried simple treatments like inseminations, you've tried 3 inseminations, for example, not got pregnant, yeah, you need IVF. And then age. If you are close to 40, you have very little time to try lots of treatments and waste time. And again, IVF is way more important at that point, particularly if you want 2 children. You know, IVF is your way to bank embryos for the future and try and get a baby now. Lots of reasons.
I think it's a good time, Doc, to remind those looking on about some of the seminars.
Yeah, so in Conceiving Hope, this event that we're running, part of it is, it's all about IVF this year. Part of it's going to be the science of hope, why IVF works, how it brings the sperm and eggs together. Number 2 is why have IVF here at home? What does TNT have? Apart from the phenomenal IVF lab we have now in our new Aranguez clinic, there are so many other reasons to do IVF in your hometown, your home country, with your friends, your family, your support, financial reasons as well. So we're going to talk about home-based IVF and the benefits. And then people want to know how to fast track and get into treatment quickly. So the 3rd seminar is all about tips and tricks and 5 points to fast track your journey. Because you can be seeing me today in clinic and starting IVF in 2 days if you want.
What if after the seminars there are still more questions to be answered? How could those in attendance engage with the medical team?
We've thought about that a lot because we've done these seminars a lot, and we realize we need to give at least a 1/3 of the time to that. So there's a question and answer session that's anonymous if people want, but then from 12 noon there's the Fertility Hub. It's an open floor, and there's free mini one-on-one consultations with me, the other fertility doctors, Dr. Terry-Ann, Dr. Brickell, and the nurses. You can jumpstart your treatment by coming and having a chat with a nurse and booking your first free nurse appointment in the clinic with us.
So right there, after the seminar, in the particular space, one could start to engage for that further consultation and a checkup at the Icon Plaza.
Come and ask your questions, yeah, see if you like us and have a talk, and actually it's one of my favorite things.
Is there still room, because I know there's obviously a capacity that you can't go beyond at SAPA. How do folks register? Just give me some more intimate details about Conceiving Hope and for those who are looking to attend, because I know it must be pre-registration.
Yes, and we're getting quite full already. There are spaces left, but guys, it really is important that you register in advance. So here are the details. Come to our website, trinidadivf.com. There's a registration form there, or you can give the clinic a call. They're open now. Say hello to Charlene, Rhonda, and Amanda on the phones. It's 615-BABY. That's 615-2229. You can find us on all the socials as well. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the information on registration is there. So registration, it's very confidential. This is an event just for patients. It's free to attend, 9 a.m. till 2:30, SAPA, San Fernando on Saturday 16th. But if you don't register, we can't guarantee a spot for you, and there are safety concerns about the size of the building, and we hate turning people away, so please register in advance.
I know it's your 3rd Conceiving Hope event. From your experience, looking at the makeup of the audience, is it that the women are more comfortable than the men in coming? People come as partners, more men coming? What's been your observation?
When we did our first one, I thought it would be all women. And women tend to register, but in the last few years, we've seen more men coming. And the first Conceiving Hope event, it was 50-50 men and women, and men were asking lots of questions. More recently, we're seeing men registering and coming on their own to ask questions. They are interested. I mean, I think the conversation has changed. You're a champion for men, and you've really given us a spot here to talk about infertility. And men are coming to the front. They're asking questions, and they're just as involved. And that's been quite enjoyable. It was really fun to watch. Yeah.
Any closing remarks, Doc, as we wrap things up?
I would say to people, if you're dealing with infertility, it's incredibly common. You're not alone. Conceiving Hope is not just an educational event. It's a place to find support. I love watching people connect, meet other people that they would never meet normally, but you're all on the same journey. We have our fertility warriors who will be talking as well about how they got their baby, not always with IVF, with other things as well. So you can hear and meet some of the patients that have been through our clinic as well. It's a great event.
Dr. Catherine Minto being touching base this Wednesday for the TT-IVF segment inside the Morning Brew. We wish you the best, Doc, and we will chat again next week, God spare.
JW, thank you.
That's right. Up next, mothers. Yes, it's going to be a great conversation, recognizing, a matter of fact, single mothers. And we're going to hear from the founder and president of the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago as to the Mother's Day's activity and just that general feel-good conversation going up to 8 o'clock. See you soon.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. Big savings with our road hazard warranty on Download, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Couva, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. A safer nation begins with you standing up, speaking out, and doing your part. As your Commissioner of Police, I am prepared to do my part. Are you prepared to do your part? Get on board. Are you on board?
I am Bishop Ezekiel Clark, President of the Couva Police Station Community Council, and I am proud to say that I am on board with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in their fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
I am Panis Dean Gulston. And I am Panis Johan Chakri. And crime prevention is everybody's business.
Hi, I am Sajina Kadir, attorney at law and team lead for the attorneys for the TTPS Community Justice Clinic. We support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the fight against crime.
Crime prevention is everybody's business. I am Shiraz Khan. I am a farmer. I support the TTPS in the fight against crime.
My name is Baldak Maraj, President of the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Crime fighting is everybody's business.
We are all on board.
Celebrate Mother's Day with Magical Expressions Limited. We're the largest local importer and distributor offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us at 701-6488 or 701-6680 or visit our website to order.
On Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, bring your mothers, sisters, wives, and the entire family to the luxurious, specially decorated Cascadia Hotel Ballroom St. Anne's for this exceptional Mother's Day buffet lunch and show.
From 12 noon, come enjoy a sumptuous buffet lunch prepared by the world-class chefs, which include appetizers, desserts, cocktails, and more. Then, from 2 p.m.,
mothers will be serenaded by the Caribbean stars live. Wendell McBurney,
Patricia Smith,
and soca star Sanel Dempster.
You can't see it. It's electric. And the King Weston Rollins with love songs and gospel. Of the goodness of God. Early bird tickets available now at $500
at Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's, Crosby St. James, Cache Port of Spain, Michelle's Fashions Arima, Sona Jewelers, Chaguanas San Pinal, Bellini's Truck Mart San Fernando, and online at islandetickets.com.
Mother's Day around the corner, I want to welcome to the program the founder and the president of the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Charmaine Wickham Howe. Of course, it's actually Charmaine. Charmaine, yes? Charmaine, yes, Charmaine. Let me say, you know, kudos to you. I know the organization, you all have been around for 14 years, and some actually hearing about the association for the very first time. So in that regard, I want to personally say Happy Mother's Day to you in advance, and kudos for bringing this important conversation into the fold. And I look forward to what activities you got planned for all the single mothers this weekend. So welcome, Charmaine. Great to see you.
Well, thank you. And firstly, I'd like to say a blessed good morning to you again, Mr. Williams, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. And thank you for having us today.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Before we get into the activities and stuff for the weekend, what are some of the initiatives, some of the work you have done over the years to bring that level of presence and support to single mothers across the country?
Well, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, we are celebrating our foundation of 14 years, officially registered 9 years with the Ministry of Legal Affairs. And we have a lot of highs and some lows. So if you give me a few seconds, I'll share some of our highs, which we are excited about. So we did our groundwork over the year. And we, in 2019, we were officially registered by Parliament as the representation for single mothers. And we also collaborated with NLCB on our Roots Empowerment Center, where we house mothers for a number of years. We also partnered with Angostura to assist 2 single mother homes by $15,000 each for 1 year to help with daily runnings of their households. We also registered 40 small businesses for some of our membership, legally registered small businesses with the Ministry of Legal Affairs as well. We supported thousands of families during the pandemic, which fell on us sudden. We were able to function as an NGO and support for single family homes and by extension other families as well during the pandemic, which was a new thing to us during that time.
Let me ask, how does one define, because I also grew up in a single mother household, you know, and kudos to my mom, who still today plays an active role, very much a pillar and a source of strength and unwavering support in my life. And I thank her so much for the balance and the balance she would have shown in terms of giving me enough freedom, but still pulling it back. And it was comfortable to have conversations. I guess the conversations I was supposed to have with my dad, I could have, you know, she didn't cringe. I was able to have that open relationship, but he was not really involved at all, even though in later years I was able to reach out to him and we were able to connect. What is the definition, as it were, of a single mother? Is it the mother who's raising the child solely by themselves, or the father's involved in a way, but he's not around as much? How do you define it? Is there any definitive way to describe the single mother experience?
This is exactly what it is, where the mother is responsible for the entirety of rearing the children, the entirety from coming up the road there. And sometimes you have the fathers involved partially financially by force through the courts, or some willingly. But I personally see once the fathers are involved in the raising of the children via financial, physically present, and mentally present in the children's lives, and some women do hit me hard with this one, from my membership when we have certain discussions, I do believe that the fathers are there because they still play a role in the children's lives. You know. So we wouldn't. So that the mother who's the guy who's still involved, we wouldn't really consider her a single mother per se. It's no, because he's there. Yeah, because you know you hear of different family relationships, like the visiting type. There are those who come around. They might get intimate every now and then, but then he might go fade to the back again and then come back. So there are also different scenarios. But I guess a single mother, in essence, is really that woman who solely and wholly would have raised that child by themselves with no assistance at all from the father. Yes, in my understanding, that is what a single mother home is. But some people tend to say no, once they have the daily runnings of the child, they are single mothers. but they do have support via the fathers, whether they are in the house or away from the house. Once they support, you have help, because we have mothers who cannot pick up a phone and call the father to help the children because they have passed on or they are incarcerated and they're absolutely not there for many reasons, who have abandoned the families and stuff like that. And this is where the mother have to find every single thing to support this child or children. But once you have a partner that is still there and willing to support the children, it's a partial both parenting.
Yeah.
I still consider it partially. Some mothers hit me hard, as I say, and some of them will be really mad to hear, I'm doing it on my own, they barely give anything and stuff like that. But I believe once the father is involved in some way, form, or fashion, you cannot say you are a single parent.
Yeah. And,
it's when they are totally not there.
Yeah, and
you are a complete single parent.
That's why the conversations are so important, to kind of give the clarity and to speak to the ever-changing dynamics sometimes. Families and they evolve and so much is happening and it's different compared to when we were coming through the ranks. What activities you got planned for the mothers this weekend? Any major activity, any activations happening?
Yes, actually, we are celebrating our annual Mother's Day event on Saturday, the 9th of May at 113 Valhalla Restaurant and Bar in Caroni. We will be there from 2 p.m. to about 7 p.m. on Saturday. And those are for the mothers who have never been invited out anywhere and would like to attend. Our flyer is out, our email is on our page, our Facebook page, which is the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And you can get all the information there so they can attend. We have a lot in store for them. And we have sponsors for this particular event that I would love to highlight. So if you give me some seconds.
Yeah, for sure, go right ahead.
We have Maxi Stores, the Mr. Zahir Mohammed, and this company coming out to distribute single mothers with some much needed food supplies for their daily runnings. We have Apollo Foods, SM Jaleel, Joseph, Bermudez, National Flour Mills, Kiss Baking Company, Mohammed's Administrative Services, and the Maya Foundation. And we'd just like to say thank you to these sponsors who made our event very much possible to have on Saturday. And I was giving you some of our highs, before we went to that question there. And I would really like to identify with the opportunity I have here that our association has really worked on the ground over the years, and we have accomplished a lot but very little. And we were offered scholarships by the Trinidad and Tobago Child Care Training Academy, and those two mothers completed the course with distinctions, and one of them actually went on to open her homeschool business. She's doing homeschooling and is doing very well. One of the same mother actually entered the Mrs. Universe contest about 2 years ago, and she won the Miss Grand aspect of the competition and went on to represent Trinidad and Tobago.
That's amazing.
In the US. And we started a chapter in Tobago during the pandemic, which was in 2021. So we have a membership in Tobago as well, and we have done good there, and we were recently asked to come over again and continue some of the good work we were doing in Tobago.
Sure,
so these are some of our highs.
Plus
we have 4 marriages out of our association.
Congratulations indeed. In the seconds that remain before we officially pull things down, is there any kind of advice for, let's say, mothers who might need legal aid or counsel if they want to, just go to the system to seek some kind of assistance?
Yes, we collaborate with a number of NGOs, and we have these services, so they can reach out to us via our page. And we do have a legal team as well. One of our directors, Mr. Glenn Bagwood Singh, he assists the women and them personally when they have any legal issues, most times free of pro bono, so they can reach out to us and we will connect them to the relevant authorities for those services.
How are we finding you all online for those looking on? Or what's the handle?
We have our Instagram page, Single Mothers Association TNT, and we also have our Facebook page with 31,000 plus followers. So we are very easy to find.
Well,
and our email contact is there, and some of the numbers are on the flyers on our page.
Well, Charmaine, let me say Happy Mother's Day to you, to all the ladies.
Thank you, Jason.
Well done, and thanks for the great conversation. All the best.
We appreciate you all. Thank you.
You're welcome. The Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago touching base. I'm sure many finding out that for probably the first time. So great work, 14 years in the making. With that, I'm going to make my exit. Have yourselves a safe and productive day today. God spare. I'm back for more tomorrow, right here on The Morning Brew. Have a great one, TNT.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of CNN International, we now join their current programming.
Here's my license number. These kinds of characters are also really common on this platform. And just to give you a sense, I searched for therapist on Character AI yesterday. I think we may have some pictures of what I found. There are dozens of results showing therapy bots that people can talk to. So Pennsylvania is seeming to say that this disclaimer that Character AI